Hello everyone, my name is Novindi Moreno. This presentation is going to be about my experience in the EHR internship. For my rotations, I was assigned to shadow Adam, who is part of the Radiant team. The Radiant team belongs to a bigger team called Apps, Radiology, and Cardiology. There are three main functions of the Radiant team. The first is to address issues, and these are also called incidents, so if something is wrong, it needs to be fixed. The second function involves optimization, which comes in the form of requests, and an example is adding a new resource pool. A resource pool can be an X-ray machine, CT, or MRI. And another form of optimization is routine maintenance. An example of this is updating CPT codes to the system. And the third function of the Radiant team involves project work. An example is reinstalling the EMR in a new building or upgrading the system. The Radiant team covers a wide customer base, in addition to serving Loma Linda University Health, which includes the Medical Center, Children's Hospital, East Campus, Heart and Surgical Hospital, and Murrieta. They also serve Riverside University Health System and SAC Health System. The Apps Radiology and Cardiology application team has over 140 employees. Because this team is pretty robust, I'm only going to focus on the staffing and structure of the Radiant team, which is the one I was assigned to, and this team is part of the Apps Radiology and Cardiology team. The Radiant team currently has 7 team members. There are 6 full-time Epic analysts who are certified in Radiant and 1 instructional designer. The analysts are the ones who address issues, handle optimizations, and participate in projects, while the role of the instructional designer is to create and design training curriculum. The analysts report to the clinical director of Apps Radiology and Cardiology, while the instructional designer reports to the training manager. Although the Radiant team is small, there are several different roles within the team, and a team member can have more than one role. The roles are fluid, so they are constantly changing. Usually there are 3 analysts that are engaged in project work and upgrades, and currently there are 2 analysts in the ITP team, or intake point person, which take care of the incidents and requests. There is usually 1 designated data courier that moves builds from the test environment to production. And unique to the Radiant team is the role of change control representative, which happens to be my mentor. And this person is in charge of approving changes for 3 application teams, Radiant, Willow, and Optime. Other roles within the Radiant team include a facility structure point person, security point person, and reporting lead. An information system that is frequently used in this team is Outlook, which is the primary method of communication. And this is also the first place to look if there are any new tickets. Another system that is frequently used is ServiceNow, and this is where you manage the tickets. And probably the most important information system used by Radiant analysts is, of course, Epic. And there are different environments that are frequently used. PRD is the production environment, and Loma Linda calls theirs LEAP. And this environment is what the end user sees and uses for their workflows. SUP is the support environment. Only administrators have access to this environment. And this is the most production-like environment, and it's basically a copy of production from 24 hours ago. You can troubleshoot and mock build in this environment, and you can log in as an end user and test user workflows. POC stands for proof of concept, and this environment is used for initial builds and validation of workflows. TST is the test environment, and this environment is used for final testing of builds. So usually a build goes from POC to TST, then to production. Another information system used is PACS, which stands for Picture Archiving and Communication System. And this is the system that is used to store and transmit images from multiple modalities such as X-rays, CT, and MRI. And Radiant analysts do not directly work with the system, but they have to be familiar with how it is linked to Epic to transmit reports and results correctly. Another information system that I have seen during my internship is EndoVault, and this is used for GI procedures, mainly endoscopies, and it's used by the GI department. And some of its functions are to store and generate images and videos during the procedure and generate reports. And like PACS, radiant analysts do not directly use this system, but they need to be familiar with it and how it links to Epic. The general workflow of a Radiant certified Epic analyst is you get a ticket, assign yourself or someone else if you have that ability, and press the Start Work button to begin resolving the ticket. Tickets can be in the form of incidents or requests, also called RITMs. There is something called a customer service level agreement that they have to abide by, and this means that once a ticket is received, it needs to be addressed in a timely manner, otherwise it will break the service level agreement. Low priority tickets have about a 4-hour window to be picked up, while high priority tickets have a 15-minute window to be picked up and a 6-hour window for resolution. When working on a ticket, it is important to make sure that there is good documentation, such as communication with the customer and what you did to resolve the ticket. That way, if you need to refer back to what you did, all the documentation is there. An example of a ticket that I saw being resolved during my internship was a customer sent a ticket because the results for an order were not being displayed correctly. And it turns out that the results were linked to another order. And in order to resolve the issue, it needed to be linked to the correct order. And once the result was linked to the correct order, the issue was then resolved. Overall, I had a good experience during my internship. I think my mentor Adam was really informative as he went through his daily workflow, and he described everything he did in detail and was very thorough. And that helped me understand what the job is like as a Radiant analyst better. Unfortunately, I was unable to attend any meetings or committees, so that is something I wish I could have experienced during my internship. Also, because of the ongoing pandemic, the rotations had to be done virtually, and I'm not sure if interns had to be physically present for their rotations in the past, but it would have been nice to actually see the office to get a better feel of the structure and environment and the actual workflow. And because I didn't work to obtain a certification in Radiant, for me personally, it was a bit difficult to follow some of the builds and the steps to troubleshooting some of the tickets. Some of the terminology was similar to the ones I've come across for the ambulatory certification. However, it was still a little difficult to follow when my mentor was explaining some of the things he was doing. He was very, very thorough, but I think for me personally, it would have been easier to follow if I was working towards a Radiant certification instead. All in all, I'm truly grateful for this experience, and I would like to thank my mentor for being a great teacher and providing me with this knowledge. And this concludes my presentation. Thank you for listening.